Coming up, we're talking MC Athletics and MC Athletic scholarship opportunities with MC's Director of Athletics, Tarlouh Gasque, and Michael Simone, Sports Information and Athletic Coordinator. And you can join us by sending your questions in live. Everything you wanted to know about MC Athletics starting now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Brown from Montgomery College Television, and it is my pleasure to welcome in my special guest today, Tarlouh Gasque, who is Montgomery College's Director of Athletics, and Michael Simone. Michael does sports information here at the college and is also an athletic coordinator for the Raptors. And as I said at the top, we're going to be talking Montgomery College Athletics today. We're also going to be talking about athletic scholarship opportunities for prospective student athletes. Now, folks, this is a Facebook Live event, so you can join us by sending your questions in live. We're going to be with you for 30 minutes today, so send in your questions. We're going to try to get to as many of them as we can during the time that we have this afternoon. Now, before we get our first question in live, we do have a list of questions that have been sent in previously by prospective MC student athletes. These questions have gone to the college recruiters, to the president's office, all over the place, so we've kind of compiled those. And let's start with some of the more general questions. I think that'll help people understand the Montgomery College athletic landscape a little bit better. First of all, the NJCAA. Tarlouh, MC is a member of the NJCAA. Just exactly what is it?
The NJCAA is the National Junior College Athletic Association, pretty similar to the NCAA, which is the governing body of the four-year schools. The NJCAA focuses on junior colleges within that association.
Now, what sports, Montgomery College offers a pretty broad gamut of sports. What sports do we offer here?
We offer men and women's soccer, volleyball, men and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and men and women's track.
And we also have cheerleading, but it's a sport, but it's not considered a varsity sport. Is that correct?
That's correct. They're non-competitive. Yes.
Okay. Even though they do a great job for us.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Now, NJCAA has divisions just like the NCAA. What divisions does the NJCAA have, and which ones are offered by Montgomery College?
The NJCAA offers Division 1, 2, and 3. At Montgomery College, our men and women's soccer and men and women's track are Division 1. And then men and women's basketball, volleyball, baseball, and softball are at the Division 2 level. Division 3 is non-scholarship, and all of our sports offer scholarships.
Okay, so all of our sports offer scholarships. Let's talk about Division 1 scholarships first. What do they entail?
For Division 1, you are able to offer tuition and course-related expenses, or fees actually, and books, and room and board, and course supplies less than $250.
Now, of course, Montgomery College at this point, maybe in the future, I've heard talk, we do not have housing on campus.
Yes.
So does the housing assistance that's available through Division 1, would that apply to off-campus housing or only on-campus housing?
I believe it can be off-campus as well as on-campus in terms of payment for housing. Only Division 1 can do that.
Okay. Now, what about Division II scholarships? What do they entail?
So Division II scholarships are comparable to Division I, is tuition and course-related fees and books and course supplies, but no housing is offered.
Okay, okay. Now, what kinds of things are not covered under an NJCAA scholarship?
Well, anything that falls outside of the realm of what I mentioned in terms of the tuition and course-related fees, if you have fees that are not related to your courses, that are not on your syllabi, then they're not eligible for support with regards to paying for them.
Okay. Now this next question is one that we get often, and it's kind of a tricky question. I have a feeling probably very detailed. But what are the eligibility requirements to receive an athletic scholarship as a current high school student?
Well, as a current high school student, you pretty much have to have graduated from high school in order to receive an athletic scholarship. But a lot of our athletic scholarships are based on that potential player and the coach recommending them based on their athletic ability. So it's more so the player contacts the head coach, and we have the contact available on our website, and say that you're interested, and that coach sees that you're worthy of providing a scholarship for, then we look at what we can do in terms of offering a scholarship.
Now, how is it, I assume there's a budget involved here.
Correct.
And first of all, where is the money coming from to cover these scholarships?
The money primarily is coming from the college and from our foundation association. So that's at this point, we're in the very early stages. So we have to use what we get wisely in terms of that. We have some full scholarships, which are full tuition scholarships offered by our Board of Trustee. It's a Board of Trustee athletic scholarship. And then we have some funds that we can use towards paying for books and fees, etc.
Okay. Now, so we talked about the high school, what makes a high school student eligible. How about current MC students? I know in the past we've had students who maybe didn't play a sport in their first year here, but then decided to play a sport the second year. Are they eligible to receive an NJCAA athletic scholarship?
As long as they're eligible in terms of the eligibility criteria, which means that for every full-time semester they've attended, they have to pass 12 credits with a 2.0 or better. They are eligible. Also, it depends on their talent level in terms of the sport that they play. If that coach sees that that's someone they want to offer that assistance, then we look into that. But pretty much they have to meet the requirements with regards to the NJCAA rules prior to doing so.
And of course, if they're going to have to try out.
Correct.
The coach has to see them in action.
And that's when the coach sees them and is impressed to the point where they want to make sure that they get them to participate. Then we offer scholarship funds.
Right. Now, so what are the requirements for current MC students to receive a scholarship?
It's pretty much meeting the eligibility criteria, showing up to tryouts, communicating with the coach, and then the coach will present who they would like to provide scholarship money to.
Okay, so I think this next question maybe is a little redundant, but there is a second part to it which we haven't addressed. Mm-hmm. If a student qualifies for an NJCAA athletic scholarship, what requirements are needed from them to remain eligible? I think we already touched on that.
Yeah.
But can they lose the scholarship money for any reason?
It's not mandatory, but they could lose the scholarship money for not being eligible anymore, especially in sports when it comes time for them to qualify for the team and to be certified. If they don't qualify, if they don't meet the grades and the credits, then they could lose a scholarship that way. Also, violations of code of conduct and those type things could disqualify them for a scholarship.
Sure. Now, can anybody apply to receive an athletic scholarship?
Yeah, because I mean, it really is a matter of showcasing your talent to the coach that's for that particular sport. And if that coach is impressed, they can offer the scholarship. They'll then be speaking to me with regards to what do we need to do to get someone eligible or to give them a scholarship. We work with financial aid in terms of determining what that student qualifies for, and that's how we come up with a package with regards to how much money they get.
Well, we should point out that in addition to her duties as athletic director, you wear two hats here. Well, you probably wear 20, but the other hat that you wear is as head women's basketball coach.
Correct.
Now, so kind of take us through the recruiting process. Do students come up to you and say, I want to get a scholarship, how do I do it? Or is this something that's more offered, or how does it usually kind of work?
Well, I mean, when you're recruiting and you're looking at very talented student athletes, there is a very high chance that there are lots of other schools looking at them as well, 4-year schools as well as 2-year schools. So we let them know ahead of time that we do have scholarship money available, and we're highly interested in them, and we'll do whatever it takes in terms of getting them funds that will meet it as much as we can afford. And usually they come for a visit to see the school, see if they're interested in that, and then we look at their financial aid eligibility in terms of when they do their FAFSA, find out how much they may get from federal student loans or student aid, actually, and then we go on from there.
Well, pretend I'm a prospective student athlete. I know that's a stretch, but sell me on why I should want to come to Montgomery College. What are some of the things that you talk about when you sit down with a recruit and their parents in the living room?
Well, I'm a big proponent of academics coming first. So, and I am very proud of what we do here at Montgomery College with regards to academics and the transfer ability of a student once they get their AA here or they go to school here and take classes here. So the first thing I really push is the high academic standards that we have, because most students that are serious about a sport want to transfer to the 4-year. And in order to get to a 4-year, you need to meet that academic criteria as well and be well prepared in order to do that. So that's a lot of what I stress in terms of that. And then I look at their ability and what they can do and what we can do for them, because it's basically a partnership in terms of working with helping to improve a student athlete to go to the next level. Some are not prepared academically and they need to work on getting their grades up at the junior college level. That's some reasons that they would want to come here. And others need to get their skills up. They're good but not quite there. And that's what I think. I have some very good coaches that are very good at improving students to get them to be seen at the next level.
And then there's, going along with the academic aspect, there's things like small class sizes.
Correct.
They can develop their professor is going to know them.
Right. That's correct.
And
Yeah.
that's a huge deal. I went to Ohio State. I didn't know a professor and they didn't know me until I got well into my junior year, because I'm in classes with 300, 400, 500 kids.
Right.
That's not the case here.
No, you have the small classes and you have very good professors that really care about students learning, so that helps a lot. We have a strong academic program within athletics that also helps that professor to know who they are. We have, the grade report program, study halls, and academic advising, all of those come together to make sure that you're kind of helped and taught as to how to manage school and sport when you transfer from here, if you should come here and play. So you're better prepared than you would be straight from high school.
Yeah, I was going to mention the academic counseling aspect, because I know we've had some great counselors here over the years who have really helped kids get on that right path.
That's correct. I mean, they all have an academic plan. So you're not just at Montgomery College taking one class, another class not connected. You're sitting with the academic advisor who's going to lay out a plan for you as to what you need to take in your freshman year, what do you need to take in your sophomore year, what do you need to transfer to pursue the major that you're looking for at the 4-year level. So, and we actually have academic counselors who work with athletics and are focused on athletes, which helps a lot. So they know what is needed at the 4-year level to be a student athlete and can help them to be prepared for that.
I was just checking to see if we had any questions. We don't seem to have any live ones yet. Now this next question, considering the diversity of the college, Montgomery College, for those of you who don't know, is probably one of the most diverse colleges in the United States. Certainly on the 2-year level, but I would wager on the 4-year level as well. So we have a lot of international students that come here.
Correct.
Of course, there's a lot in the news about that kind of student and family. And so are international students or dreamers, are they eligible to receive NJCAA athletic scholarships, or must a student be a U.S. citizen?
No, the international students can receive a scholarship as well. The cost to come to the college is higher for them, and we don't have as much scholarship funds to cover a lot of that, but we still can help them out with books and supplies. Yes.
And we have a ton that on our teams from all over the world.
Yes, we do.
Makes my job very exciting, and Mike, I know you too. You get to know these kids from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a lot of fun.
All right, now I do believe we did touch on housing. We do not currently have dorms on campus.
No, we do not.
It may be something that comes down the road at some point, but we don't want to.
Yeah, I understand that that's being considered. There's a feasibility study underway, so we'll see what happens there in terms of offering housing. And this is actually going to be for all students. Athletes can just take advantage of that, should that occur. Yeah.
Now, here's a tricky question. How much money can someone expect to receive as an NJCAA scholarship recipient?
Well, if you get, we have what's called a Board of Trustee Athletic Scholarship. That's actually a full in-county tuition covered for 15 credits per semester that we offer. There is an academic criteria of a 2.5 GPA, cumulative GPA in high school to get that, but you can get as much as that, which is basically your tuition covered, and then, or you can get less with regards to paying your books and fees and stuff like that. Yes.
Okay. Now, talking about, we've had tremendous success with our athletic teams here over the history of the college,
Yes,
really.
we have.
I mean, going all the way back to when we were a one-campus school in Tacoma Park. So we've had a lot of very successful alumni come out of the college. Michael, maybe you can address this one. In your mind, your estimation, based on your research, who are some of our most acclaimed alumni?
Well, the most acclaimed alumni, probably going back not that far, but Jerome Williams played here for 2 years and then had a long career in the NBA. But a lot of our
Junkyard Dog was his nickname.
Yep, Junkyard Dog. He started pave the way for a lot of our other athletes that have gone on to play professionally. Tiffany Williams played overseas for women's basketball. Patrick Smith just recently graduated, as well as Colin Turner. They haven't had professional careers yet, but one being Player of the Year in the conference and Player of the Year nationally. They should go on and have great careers moving forward.
I believe Pat is going to be playing professionally in Europe this year. Am I correct?
There's talks. I haven't talked to him recently on what has come of that. So I know that he's looked at that avenue, and people have looked at him. So I look forward to hearing what that answer is. But Phil Nana, our head women's soccer coach, has played professionally as well as Sonia Rada, who just got done playing in Lancaster and has played overseas in Cyprus and a couple other teams.
Played in Switzerland as well.
Played in Switzerland, yep. And Jamison McGrain for baseball is floating around in the baseball professional world in the minor leagues. So there's been a lot of acclaimed alumni that have come through here to go on and play at a 4-year school and then have had very successful professional careers.
Yeah, I think the key phrase there is a 4-year school because, while we may not have the big name, the LeBron James or whatever, name you want to come up with, we have certainly sent a ton of kids over the years on to 4-year schools. This is really a great way to get to that level, isn't it?
That's true. That's true. We really help to prepare student athletes for moving forward. That's a big focus on making sure that they can manage. It's not easy to be a student athlete because you have to make sure that you succeed in the classroom as well as do well on the court or field or wherever you participate. So we do a lot in terms of teaching them how to manage that, how to manage their time, and prepare for the next level. And as a result, we've had lots of, every year we have a multitude of student athletes that move on to play at the 4-year level and do pretty well there as well.
Yeah, in all our sports, not
Correct.
just, some schools are known as a soccer school
Yeah.
or a basketball school. It's across the board
right.
here.
Yes,
in
in
every
all of our
sport.
sports, yes.
Every sport,
true.
yeah. So that's always great to see. And the other thing is that they keep coming back.
That's true.
When there's a break, they come back, or they come back for an alumni event. Or I remember last year we honored Steve Hobson, who was a longtime men's basketball coach here. Oh my gosh, we had a ton of former players come back for that.
That's right.
And it's great to see those those guys when they do come back.
Yeah.
But I think it's a testimony to the school
That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
and how they feel about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So now let's talk about our games because we play great games here. There's some really exciting games, and I'm lucky enough to be able to cover the games for Montgomery College Television. Of course, you guys see almost all of them.
Yes.
Can anyone go to the games, or do you have to be a student?
No, anybody can attend our games. Right now, they're free of charge, and all of the schedules are online on our website, mcraptors.com. So yeah, anybody can come to our games.
Yeah, the only exception is when we have the basketball tournaments, then we charge for the basketball tournaments. But other than that, they're all free.
I would encourage people to come because they are great,
Yeah.
competitive. Boy,
It is.
the fans really get fired up. Now we have a couple of questions that have come in. This one is from Marcus Pinor. He says, perhaps it was already asked, but can a two-sport athlete be eligible for more than one scholarship? That's a good question.
A two-sport athlete can be eligible for more than one scholarship because they sign a letter of intent for each one of those. That's the requirement for you to actually have a scholarship. That's the contract that we sign with the student athlete. There's a letter of intent for each sport. And within that letter of intent are the details of what the scholarship entails.
Okay, so that's a positive. We have another question here from Sebastian Jose Taylor Ebanks. It's actually not a question. He's making a comment. He says, "I'm still successful wherever I go." So he must be a former MC athlete, I'm guessing. So thank you for that comment, Sebastian. An often asked question, we've touched on this, but I'll give you a chance to amplify if you want. A student had asked us earlier, can I continue my athletic career after MC? And obviously the answer is yes.
Yes, because I mean, you can transfer to a four-year school and play there as well.
And some of our athletes graduate here and then go to a four-year, but most, I think, transfer. Is that correct?
Most transfer, but we have more now. I guess that number is increasing of those that actually graduate. If you graduate, you actually have a better opportunity of going to a Division I four-year because you need to have your associate's degree in order to do so.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
Yes.
I was not aware of that. And there's a difference, but there are still requirements to transfer, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Right.
There are academic requirements in terms of what's needed, and that's where the academic advisors come into play.
Okay. And then this last question, I believe we've touched on this, but if anything else has come to mind, please feel free to share it. How does MC prepare athletes for transfer to a four-year school or university? I think we pretty much...
We pretty much talked about that in terms of helping them with managing their time, managing how they interact with professors, how do you go through a rigorous athletic season and still make sure you do well in the classroom so that you stay eligible, as well as making sure that you can transfer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot to juggle
Yes, it is.
for a student athlete. Yeah. By the way, Marcus Pinor says, thank you, Coach, for that answer.
You're
welcome. Well, let's shift gears just a little bit, but we're still in the athletic realm. Let's talk about some of the things going on with facilities here, because this has been a very busy summer facilities-wise for athletics.
It has. We've been kind of thrown off a little bit, have had to be relocated, but I'm really excited about our new football or soccer stadium that's going up. And I can watch it every day. I actually see it from my office right now, see it moving up. We're getting a turf field with a stadium that'll allow us to be able to host games and to play here. Unfortunately, our men and women's soccer teams have had to participate at the Germantown Soccerplex over the last few years, which has not afforded them the ability to have the kind of student participation and attendance as we would like. So this will be really good in terms of them being on campus. And then we also have the gymnasium, which they're working on fixing the roof on the entire building. So that's been really, it'll reap the benefits for us here. Yes.
Yeah, I know soccer is especially excited about that
Yes,
complex.
they are. Yes,
it's been a long time coming, but man, it's really starting to take shape.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of exciting to see what's going on out there. Yeah. That's going to be a great recruiting tool for the soccer program, isn't it?
It should.
Well, we are just about out of time. I can't believe it. Time just flies by here. But before we go, I do want to mention that if you have any questions following today's Facebook Live event, there's a couple of ways you can get those answered. You can call Michael at 240-567-1308, and I believe we're showing that number on the bottom of the screen right now. Or you can message the athletic department through any of their social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They can send you a message. You guys will get back to them. And we're showing you those addresses on the bottom of the screen right now. So I want to thank both Tarlouh Gasque and Michael Simone for joining us today for the Facebook Live event. Most of all, I want to thank all of you for joining us. We'll see you again real soon.